Hey guys, so I started another Soul Eater build like I said with the Cleave of Rage. It wasn't particularly successful build, however, while playing this build I decided to give this Tincture a try. The 18% increased damage for each non-instant spell you have cast in the past 8 seconds. Figured out that it's amazing for Soul Eater build. However, I don't really want to focus on this build. Instead, I want to focus on this flask and how you can use this flask and what builds can use it. Sorry, not flask. With this tincture, you can literally get 1000% increased attack damage, 2000, 3000, and that's a lot. When I ramp up Soul Eater, I get attack and cast speed. Normally, as a attack build, you don't have much cast speed. There are a couple builds that get both, like Onslaught stacking or maybe with Ballistas. With the Vilma's helmet, you can get a lot of attack and cast speed. And with that actually makes a lot of sense to use a Nev, because a Nev is the fastest base cast speed skill. So a Nev has cast time of 0.3, while most other skills have 0.5 or 0.6. So it's almost twice faster than any other spell. And with this, and linked with the faster casting, you can reach a lot of cast per second with Soul Eater. Now, I don't have any other way to get cast speed other than Soul Eater stacks. So for me, for this build, it works amazing because for like 1 second, I just cast for 1 second and I get, how much did I get? Around 2000% increased attack damage. The tincture only applies to attacks. It's only affecting the weapon hits. Now there are other ways you can get more cast speed. Like for example, Essence Crafted Gloves with I believe 16% more attack and cast speed for socketed gems. So you socket an F in those gloves, you get already big cast speed multiplier, and then chuck in like faster casting, Arcane Surge. Now builds that use, like I said, Vilma's helmet, which are basically totems or like Mirage Warriors, can also benefit from that, because especially for totems, you drop totems and then you just cast an F for like a second or 2 or 3 or even 8 seconds while your totems just ramp up the damage. And the damage ramp up is kind of nuts. With this build, I saw up to 10 million tooltip DPS, but that was after casting for like almost 8 seconds. And that is, I believe, at around 20 to 30 casts per second with the NF. Not many builds can achieve 20-30 casts per second with NF. Necromancer can. Necromancer with the Corpse Pact. You get up to 200% increased attack and cast speed, but you have to consume 100 corpses, which can be done with the cast and damage taken with the Desecrate plus one of the offerings. And you can also pick up this one so that the flesh offering would affect you as well, but you won't be able to stack multiple charms with the offering effect on you, because you're all gonna be using tincture. Necromancer as an attack build in general sounds weird to me, and I never actually did it, I think, although I have heard of many people doing this stacking attack and cast speed very successfully. So yeah, Necromancer could work. Vilma's helmet with totems, like I said, because increases and reductions to cast speed apply to attack speed. So normally those builds stack a lot of cast speed to get attack speed, or like double dip, or things that double dip that give attack speed and cast speed as a separate line. So for example, Onslaught. So stacking Onslaught and Onslaught effect could also work very well with this. Frenzy charges, especially with Ralakesh boots, now it's very easy. You just chuck them in, pick up frenzy charges, boom, you get attack speed, cast speed, and then Onslaught, and then combined with the Necromancer, so you get even more speed. Action speed, like Reverse Shield could work, or Tailwind can also work really well. So yeah, that is the main idea. Now this is 18% maximum roll, 18% increased damage for each non-instant spell you have cast in the past 8 seconds. This currently gives me 45% increased damage per spell cast. With the Tincture effect, with this one, you get 75% increased Tincture effect per empty flask slot. I got 2 empty flask slots, so it's giving 150% increased effect. So instead of 18, it's 150% increased. I'm getting 45% increased damage, and that's not the limit. If you only run one tincture, not sure what build could sacrifice all the flasks, but you could sacrifice all the flasks and you get 300% increased effect. That way it would be, instead of 18%, it would be 72% increased damage. So let's say you cast, let's be generous, let's say you cast 15 times per second, which is kind of a lot. After 1 second, you would get 1000% increased damage already. And then let's say you cast for 3 seconds. So already 3000% increased damage. I currently have 45% increased damage, and I can easily get 20 casts per second. So even after 1 second, I already get almost 1000 increased damage. And I can just cast it for a couple other seconds, let's say 3 seconds, almost 3000% increased damage. And it's very noticeable. And that's not the limit. I believe even saw a nerf go above 40 casts per second, but I think the cap is still 30. So maybe it was just a tooltip. Let's say you got 30 casts per second with this. So after 1 second, I'll already get 1.3 thousand increased damage for attacks. And let's say I channel for 7 seconds and I got 1 second window to do that damage. Over 9000% increased damage. Now, quickly about this build. This is Berserker non-crit. I thought about crit, but crit was a bit too complicated and too limiting. So I went with non-crit Berserker, picking up the Defy Pain, and I am immune to Reflect because there was literally nothing else to take. I also bought Progenesis. That's an expensive class, but I mean, this league everyone has a lot of currency. Progenesis, then cheap weapons for Varunastra and Rigwald Savagery. It's actually kind of hard to beat these two, just to maximize the amount of rage, because using Cleave of Rage, the more rage you have, the more AoE you get. By the way, visually, once you get Soul Eater, your character grows bigger and the visually AoE gets bigger, but that's incorrect visuals. My actual AoE should be around 6 meters, which is, if enemies die within 6 meters of you, you get souls. It doesn't matter how they die, it can be even from other players. But if they die beyond 6 meters, you don't get souls. That's why I kind of wanted to keep Cleave of Rage at maximum 6 meters. Also, just for more damage, I can just chuck in Berserk. These gloves also, I'm not sure if it's worth using them, because without instant leech, you can't really play Soul Eater builds because you need some kind of instant recovery. Otherwise, you just die to degen, and with this massive attack speed, you kind of drain your life pool. Even if the skill costs like 8 life, you still drain it very quickly. So plus enemies hitting you, plus enemies debuffing and dots on you, so you kind of need some instant. And I believe this does not work with instant leech. If instant leech fills up life, you don't have any chance to get adrenaline or onslaught. But it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you do recover life with the leech over time, and you do sometimes get adrenaline and onslaught. Onslaught, by the way, is not really needed for this. It's already moving very fast. I did have to get Cogwork ring. This is like a 1 divine ring, and then crafted dexterity and intelligence, which I absolutely needed. The other ring kind of need minus mana cost, and Varunastra kind of helps as well, because without this ring it would cost 15 mana, and I would think I would not be able to sustain, because I am attacking 3 times and I only would recover 6 mana with the Varunastra. But when I use it like this, it only costs 10 mana, and Varunastra recovers 6. Ideally it would be 3 mana on hit, but I didn't really want to buy a new one. But I do also have Mana Leech. I also picked up Impossible Escape to pick up more flash duration. And this is, by the way, Adorned jewels, stacking magic, normal jewels with the flask effect duration. So I actually don't have many of them. I only have 3 of them, because I needed Adorned. I also needed Impossible Escape for flask effect duration. I needed that which was taken with the Fortify basically, and Reflect physical immunity. Which aside for extra 2 impales also gives a lot of damage. Right now the flask lasts for a bit over 1 minute, but sadly Progenesis drops after like 48 seconds. So it's a bit annoying that we don't have equal amount of duration. Defiance of Destiny, just for extra defenses, it helps a lot. With the Progenesis, is just amazing. You get hit, but you do lose some damage instantly, and the other one over time. But also before the hit, you also get healed from Defiance of Destiny, so it works just really well. Yeah, there's not much else left to say about this build. The build overall is not a big success. I kind of imagined I would be able to just run Berserk on left click, but I'm not actually generating rage as quickly as I imagined. I just don't get that many souls. This is with 200 souls. This is DPS with 200 souls, and after casting an F for 1 second at 30 casts per second at maximum rage, which I don't drain. So like at 400 souls, which actually very rarely happens, I would have a lot more DPS. Without souls and without this pretty much does not have damage. And without rage, like look at the start, That is my damage at the start. I pretty much don't have damage. So at the start of the map, it feels so bad. I'm so slow, I don't have any damage, I don't have any attack speed. It just feels bad. Without Progenesis, I think I wouldn't even be able to survive. Ideally, you could get that which was taken with the gain rage per minimum power when you cast and during when you cast any Warcry below 25 rage. So you basically would weapon swap into infinite power shield, the Red Blade banner, Warcry, get maximum rage, weapon swap back, and then start mapping. But I couldn't get that which was taken with that modifier and the other modifiers what I wanted. So here we are with 166,000 DPS only, with no stacks, with nothing else. It's kind of cheating, and the Soul Eater builds are always kind of like that. They have no damage or very low damage at the start if you want long Soul Eater duration, but once it ramps up, it just ramps up really hard. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, for this build. The next build, gonna be using this Tincture again, and I think I'm gonna try to do Vengeance with this Tincture. So I'm gonna be pretty much casting an F to proc Vengeance with the Skull's Bridle, and then ramp up damage for Vengeance. And I will be able to just channel for a full 8 seconds to ramp up the damage more, but like I won't be able to get 20 casts per second with an attack build. I will try to stack all the things I can, but I think I don't really want to go Necromancer. Losing the double damage from the Gladiator is just massive loss for counter attack skills. So yeah, the next video will most likely be Vengeance. I did Vengeance builds, I don't know how many times, like 4 times already. They are among my favorite because it's counter attack build, so I'm curious how that's gonna perform. It doesn't look that amazing, like 9 million DPS only, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.